Thank you to cameraman Ben Raby from WTOP Radio and Saturday Night Caps, shooting the latest edition of OFB TV. I'm joined today by luminary Bears beat reporter Tim Leone. Tim, thanks for dressing up for the video.
Oh, you're quite welcome. This is a workaday world here, son.
We are at great old Hershey Park Arena on Friday morning here in March because the Bears are taking practice. So this is a really neat throwback visit. I always like to come up and try to see the Bears skate here once a year. It's just a great visit. Tim, the big news here is the arrival of Dmitry Orlov, and you really got Washington a Twitter, if you will, by saying that he had really caught your eye that very first game last weekend. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you saw?
Well, first off, to set it up, as you know, I'm pretty skeptical about 19-year-olds coming in, whether junior eligible or college eligible, and even though he's coming from the KHL, I think it's still kind of that same age range, experience range, and more often than not, those guys are not impact players when they come in. That said, obviously I've been pretty impressed with the first few games. I thought the first 20 minutes he played in his debut was the first 20 minutes, first 20 minutes I've ever seen from a 19-year-old D-man in this league.
And just to remind our viewers, you've been covering the AHL for how long?
Since '95.
Yeah, so 15 years, that's the best debut you've seen by a 19-year-old defenseman in the league.
Right.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about what you saw in terms of his skill set and poise. And we should remember, too, this is a young man, a teenager coming over here, knows no English, having difficulty communicating in a basic way with his teammates. So kind of from a skill set point of view, what are you seeing out there? Skating and things like that?
Well, actually, I've been more impressed by the poise so far than the skill set. And I don't know how much we necessarily see of the skill set of a few games. I didn't get to see it firsthand, but apparently his assist of the Kubrashev goal in Bridgeport was a pretty amazing pass. But I can't speak to that firsthand. Like I said, the poise thing for me, I think it was like the second shift he had in his debut. It was a D pair change, and he was supposed to be coming off, but there was kind of a funky ricochet, and he actually had to stay on. Even though he's a left shot, he's been playing right D, which apparently he's more comfortable at. And he stayed on it seamlessly, switched to left D, prevented a 2-on-1 rush going the other way, and actually got the puck and got a shot off that the Bears almost turned into a goal. And there's been a number of those occasions where he's done really impressive shifts, and we're talking about the language issue and communication issue, and he just seems to have that hockey instinct that's taken over.
Now look, he's been in town for a week, still getting to learn his teammates. It's probably too early to suggest that he could have the kind of impact for the Bears that John Carlson did the last two springs?
Well, the last two springs, Carly had the big impact last year as a rookie. I think Orlov is better than Carly as a junior eligible when he came here from London.
Wow.
Carly was solid.
Right.
He wasn't a difference maker. Now, the jury's still out over the long run as to whether Orlov could be a difference maker. I've never yet seen a 19-year-old defenseman be a difference maker in the Calder Cup playoffs. That's very rare. I've seen two forwards do it, Richards and Carter with the Phantoms in '05. And there have been a handful of goalies, which is kind of a whole different subset. But I've never seen a 19-year-old D-man be a difference maker in the playoffs. Now, maybe this will be the first.
Wow. All right, let's wrap things up here with a bigger picture of the Bears. One of the things I admire most about your coverage is when I talk to you back in the fall, and I say, what are the Bears going to be like this year? Usually you're right within 5 points about their season. And last fall, we were all talking about all of the graduations, Carlson and Alzner and Neuwirth and Perot getting called. And we thought, well, maybe they just can't quite reach that same level. But in 2011 here, they look like they're getting their stride, their old swagger back. What do you see going ahead into the spring for this hockey club?
Well, actually, when the season started, I thought the 08-09 season was going to be the template for this season when the Bears won the division in a really strong division. Now I've had to switch to the 05-06 template as Wilkes-Barre got off of that really strong start, and I don't think they're catching it. And that season the Bears finished second and won the Cup. So I think that's what we're looking at. I mean, the big question with this team right now is health, and also the health with the Caps goaltending situation, how that trickles down here. But at a theoretical 100%, this team has the capability of doing it.
They could win their third Calder Cup in a row?
Yes. Now that's, know,
things have to work out.
obviously, that's a big if. I mean, the health is the big thing, but I like how they would. If Braden is healthy, and I think he gives them an edge in goal against theoretical series against Wilkes-Barre. But that's a big question mark. We don't know, how that's going to shake out.
Well, what it I think sums up says it's going to be another exciting spring here in Hershey.
Yes, and the East Division once again is loaded. I pretty much expect one of the East teams to actually cross over to the Atlantic in the crossover format this season, and I would not be surprised if the East crossover actually came out of the Atlantic and you had an all-East conference finals.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again for the visit, and thanks for jumping out of bed clearly right away just to get on camera with me. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm only dealing with the Notre Dame guys. Why would I dress up?